Hello YouTubers, this is True Martian once again with another installment of Amateur Astronomy for Beginners, and this particular episode is about red light and the use of red light to preserve your night vision. What do we mean by night vision? Well, so you have two rooms. One is lit with a really brilliant light, and the other next to it is very dimly lit with very little light. And you spend some time, first of all, in the very brilliant lit room, and then you walk through the connecting door and close the door behind you. In the very dim lit room, you will virtually be able to see nothing at first, but then you notice your eyes begin to adapt to the very dim source of light, and eventually you'll be able to see things in the room as your eyes become dark adapted. And this is what we call night vision. In astronomy, we, of course, look at very dim sources of light, and usually, of course, in the dark. So there is a need for us to be able to preserve that night vision to keep our eyes dark adapted. It usually takes about 20 minutes to a half hour for your eyes to fully dark adapt, to fully become sensitive to the dimmest sources of light possible. And at any moment, if you should shine a flashlight in your eyes, or someone turns on a porch light, or a car's headlamp blinds you, it'll take you another 20 minutes to a half hour for your eyes to readapt to those low levels of light. So, of course, using a flashlight to read a regular flashlight to read your star charts and write in your journals is just simply out of the question. You can do so, but your eyes will not be as dark adapted as they should be when you are going to track down that really faint galaxy or planetary nebula. So what we do is we use a red flashlight. Now, the reasons that we use a red flashlight to preserve our night vision is a very interesting and simple fact about the retina in your eyeball. Your retina consists of two different color sensing, or two different light sensitive cells. One type of cell being the cones, and the other type of cell being rods. Now, the cones, which are mostly in the center of your retina, are not as sensitive to dim light, but they give you a very sharp color image. However, the other types of cell, the rods, are very sensitive to very low levels of light, but they do not give you as sharp an image as the cones would. And another interesting fact about the rods in your eye, which mostly occupy the peripheral of your retina, is that your rods are not very sensitive to longer wavelengths of light, as much as they are the shorter, bluer wavelengths of light. So we can use a red light, and a fairly bright red light, and still be able to use our the full capability of the rods and their sensitivity. And this is also why when you look at a faint galaxy or nebula in your eyepiece, the image appears kind of blue-gray. This also has an effect on how you look at an object through the telescope. A lot of times we use averted vision. In other words, if you look directly at a very faint object, it almost seems to disappear, and it's because you're using mostly those very not so sensitive cones in the center of your retina to look at the object. However, when you look just to the right or the left of the object, you notice that you can see it a whole lot better. You can see a lot more detail, a little bit better if you look at it out of the corner of your eye. And that, again, is because the more sensitive rods line the peripheral, for the most part, line your peripheral vision. Knowing that little bit of information, you can see how important it is to have a red light as part of your equipment when you're out watching or looking at the stars. The red light will help you preserve your night vision and keep you from going bump in the dark. That about does it for this installment of Amateur Astronomy for Beginners. And again, if you have any questions or comments, you can simply leave them on the video page, or you can email me at truemartian@aol.com. And once again, thanks for watching. This is True Martian signing out.